LeVeon Bell's a good topic if you want to talk about LeVeon Bell.
Yeah, let's talk quickly on Bell. Are you sold on Bell?
So here's my take on Bell. It was kind of weird that before he had a landing spot, you had Houston, you had Tampa Bay, you had all these different landing spots, and then you
Colts,
had the New York Jets, you had the Colts, and he was at like mid to late second round ADP, really starting to climb a little bit. Then he lands with the worst possible option of all of those, and he climbs into the first round. So it's more, I think, the thinking that people had was like, I'm not going to draft him yet until it's a reality that he's back, he's with the team. But it's crazy that he rose so high. So he rose to a place recently in the top 7 to 9 that I think is about right. I don't think he's a big home run there. I think he's got a big amount of risk, but a big amount of upside kind of equally. I'm hoping that this buzz drives him down into the mid-second round, and I think it will. And if it does, I'm all in again because then he's your second drafted player. I get that he was kind of flush at that 8 to 9 spot, but I love Bell in that second round, and I'll be looking to draft him in leagues if he falls there.
I don't know if he'll fall there. I think people will buy the name. I think they'll draft him mid first round, late first round. And again, I don't think I'll pay that price. But if he does drop the second round, you know, he could be a good value. But again, if you're drafting a wide receiver in the first round, you want to get yourself a Thomas, a Juju, Hopkins, you might end up with Bell as your RB1. And again, it's really simple with fantasy football for me. If I got a lot of question marks about a player, I'm going to stay the hell away. And there's like 10 different points I made on why Le'Veon Bell is not a guy I would draft. And it's too long to get into, but I'll just quickly, briefly summarize you. Number one, he's a patient runner. He looks for that hole. He needs a good O-line to create that hole. I don't think the Jets will create that. Number two, stacked boxes. They don't really have a good receiver other than Robbie Anderson. Maybe their tight end could distract the defenses. But again, it's going to be a lot of focus on him. Also, again, this is a big point. Tell me if you agree with this. We don't really know if he's a top-tier running back. Bold statement here because what's his name? D'Angelo Williams and Connor have performed on similar levels behind that O-line. So that shows me that, you know, if everything's working and other running backs come in and do what he did, what makes him that much better? Now he's going to really give him, you know, if he's going to shine, now's his time to shine. So I have way more other reasons, but that's kind of the gist of it. Again, the advantage is volume. He's going to get the goal line work. There's nobody else in New York. Again, that goes to his advantage. But again, I'm not sold as him being a superstar running back, you know, based on what I've seen. He had the Steelers. That's what made him. That's my opinion.
I mean, that's very all those points are arguable. I think that's what makes him interesting as a second drafted player, more so than a first drafted player. So, you know, we'll see. I know we're both on board with stay away from James Conner, stay away from Todd Gurley. I agree that in those situations, you're looking at way more question marks than you want for your first drafted player. And James Conner getting drafted in the top 7. He was my number 2 bold prediction last year out of all players, and I only dropped about 12 of those total, so it's not like I dropped 50 or 100 of those. I'm a big fan, but the situation is, you know, changed. The formula is the same this year. Snell and Jalen Samuels are the handcuff duo that can step in and be monsters given their ADP. Same thing with Henderson. Not a big fan of Gurley at all given the cost, and it all comes down to ADP. Those guys fell far enough, then yeah, they become valuable again. But as first-round picks or anything close to it, I'm staying away and taking those better options that are around there. And if I'm wrong, I still probably score as many points because I'm taking a safer option that's available.
I'm just going to stay away. Like, if I have this many question marks, I'm staying away. Staying away from Dalvin Cook, that's a whole other debate. He could blow up this year. Don't mind you. If Dalvin Cook stays on the field, this is his year. Yeah. But, again, too many question marks. We could debate. We could talk all day, man. That's what makes fantasy football so good because it's opinionated to some degree. There's some facts, and it's also very subjective. Yeah. It's super exciting, man. That's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you pumping the league and getting so excited about it. You're really a big part of why I think it's blowing up so fast. I think it's inevitable to be big, but you're really helping it and being a champion of the league.
Thank you. I appreciate you making it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the props for doing that, for telling people that I did, you know, have a good idea. It makes me excited about this even more, and just that people appreciate the idea and the concept. And I think we're gonna change how people create leagues and get their users involved. And with Instagram changing and people getting tired of the same old, we're gonna get the users back involved and make it really meaningful for them to be a follower of our channels and pages. So
Absolutely. So, guys, make sure you guys go follow him, Smitty. Do you want to just shout out your page and also shout out the Fantasy Football Throne page, please?
Yeah. So first and foremost, follow Fantasy Football Throne, singular, on Instagram, and you can find me at The Fantasy Football Show with a The Fantasy Football Show. You can find me at thefantasyfootballshow.com and then sleeperu.com as well, as where all my bold predictions and stuff are. But and for my followers that are watching right now, he's controversial. You're always in the spotlight in the sense of being controversial, but one thing you are is passionate and hardworking, and say what you want about your style or whatever. You have 102,000 followers. There's something to toss out some mad respect. When you're looking at a channel with 100, you have more followers than Matthew Berry. So,
and the reason I cursed earlier is because if I invite somebody and you just flat out ignore, I just think it's fucking ignorant. So it's not that I hate the other guys. I just think they're fucking ignorant. The guys that don't respond. If you don't want to be in the league, just, nicely reply back. So I know I snapped a little earlier. Just really passionate. I'm getting ready for Game of Thrones. I had a beer. Listen, guys, you got to be passionate. You got to love what you do, and you got to care about your fan base. That's all I got to say. Sorry to interrupt, but that's kind of where I wanted to end it off.
No, yeah. Let's do these more. Do some live streams. Maybe even on Sundays, like some start bench advice, like throwing at each other. That might be good. But you guys will see a lot of the counselor and I together, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram. Definitely get on over to Fantasy Football Throne on Instagram, and then follow both of us, and let's get to talking about who you want to pick. And I'll get that draft order. I was going to do the draft order live. Maybe out of a hat, or if you have any other ideas, toss them at me as far as how to reveal that draft order.
Let's do a lottery. I can stream it live on Instagram as well, or something like that, or however you want to do it. We'll figure it out.
But that'll be exciting in itself. Just what pick is each channel going to get? Each fantasy football expert page? What pick are we going to get? Probably won't allow trading of the picks, just to keep things as much tightly organized as possible, because that could get crazy. But trading players will definitely be in the cards, maybe even during the draft. Can't wait to announce that draft order, and we'll go from there. Okay.
And I know I really got to go too. Everyone's got to go. Everyone's going to watch it. But last thing, maybe even consider this a keeper league, or do you want to do complete redraft? Maybe redraft is better.
Redraft will be good for the hype and promotion of it each year. And then,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But, there's tons more time to create another kind of league. So we'll get on that too. Let's get through this draft, and then let's kick around some other ideas for draft.
All right, thanks for coming on, Smitty. Guys, go follow him and go follow Fantasy Football Throne. We're out, guys. Go enjoy. Sansa Stark. Bye-bye.